Hello everyone and welcome to today's live stream where Blender 4.4 has released, and I'll be using some of the new subpanels to work on my particle system to get it ready to release on Gumroad for free, which it's very nice. Now Blender 4.4 was rather light on the new features because the developers were working on optimizations and making the code just better under the hood. It was the winter of quality. And we're seeing some of those improvements. Some nodes, like the triangulate node, got a massive speed increase. So let's get the triangulate node. This one got a 30 to 100 times speed increase, which is very nice. I've used this node in the past, and it was a performance bottleneck. But apparently they moved it from B-mesh to mesh, and it made it a whole ton faster. In terms of the new nodes, we now have the object input constant and the collection input constant, just so that we no longer need to use group inputs if we want to, have one input and then put it to many other places in the node tree. A very nice quality of life feature. Then there's the find in string node. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what this does. I have not had time to play around with it. But I assume that it will be very useful in, I would assume like parsing use cases, but I will need to work with that next time. So for today, the plan is that, again, I'm just going to put some final touches on this particle system so that it can be released for free up on Gumroad. Now with this, it's an extension of my geometry nodes particle system, but put in a modifier form so that you can just add it, change the settings that you want, and it'll just work. You don't need to worry about, adding in new nodes or even going inside the geometry node editor at all. That's the goal, making something where you just don't have to look at that, and then you just use the modifier version. So that is the goal. So, yes. And also, let's take a little look at the other changes in geometry nodes. There were a few edits with the warning nodes just to make them a little bit more clear. And then snapping. Oh, this one is very nice. Snapping is now supported horizontally. So, as we can see here, this is now snapped. I'm very happy about that. Just because I would be like, no, let's try to make the node as close to what it was originally, and I would just never be able to get it right. But yeah, there is that. So a lot of cool things are happening, and that is all looking good. Oh, and also, as we can see here, some node inputs are grayed out. That's when they're not being used. So I can look in here and see, oh wait, I accidentally disabled the force field evaluation. So I can go and just re-enable that. We can see all that's working just fine. And we can see that this also works in the panel. So if I disable the trail, we can see that all of these get grayed out, which again is an amazing quality of life improvement. So let's go and re-enable that. So all these particles moving around, having a wonderful time doing what they should. So with this particle system again, I'm going to turn down the delta time just to see how that goes. Yep, all that seems to be working exactly as intended. Here we go. Oh, and I also want to show off, actually, did I accidentally disable the self-collisions? No, the self-collisions do seem to be there. Though I did mess with one of the things. Let's go and check the collision. Self-collisions are there. I did mess around with, what was it? With the sample index here, because it made it a little bit faster performance-wise, but I think, yes. I forgot to connect one of the inputs. That's why we do these tests. Make sure I did not screw anything up while making minor changes. There we go. Let's go up a level or two. And here we can see that the screen is completely blacked out. I'm not sure why this happens, but it happened before. I really have a knack for finding glitches with every new release. Yeah, the compositor is still acting a little bit weird with all this. There we go. That seems to refresh it. There was one glitch where like the bloom overlay was like shifted by a bit. But yeah, hopefully that'll all be cleared up very soon as the bug reports start coming in. But yeah, it seems to clear up by itself. Yeah, now we can see that these self-collisions are acting as they are supposed to, so I'm going to save that. If you have any questions about 4.4 or stuff like that, please ask them in the chat and I'll answer them as best I can. So yeah. Also, I should mention with the subpanels, you can add in a lot of them. So let's go and take a look at this node, where as we can see, I added in a ton of subpanels. Now, as far as I know, well, actually, I don't know what the limit is. But we can just go and do that, and then all the subpanels are gone, and then we can do this, and then all of them are revealed. We can just keep going, which is very cool. In the modifier version, I just pressed Control Space, and oh, Blender just crashed. Classic Blender, classic. All right. So apparently, I'm assuming that's the compositor having a tough time. Good thing I saved. Okay, so one crash with the new version. I really have a talent for finding bugs with every new release. Without fail, I run into one while I'm streaming. Okay, what Blender can crash? I know, it's actually weird. With all the times I've been working with, the daily builds, it hasn't crashed at all. And I've been doing that for like months and months and months, but for some reason, every time I do the actual release, the day it comes out, I run into one bug that really messes things up. In 3.6, it was the glitch with the simulations. Let's see, yeah, it went straight to 4.0 from 3.6, I think. In 4.0, it was the cache got invalidated. Actually, I'm not sure about that one. But yeah, every time without fail. Okay, enough just looking around all this. Let's actually take a look inside the other parts of the particle system. So again, here the goal is to just make it so that you can very easily make simulations with different materials and such. So which one is the... Oh, there's the Flipbook. I need to do something with that. I think... Which one was it? Smoke, particle, wait, sparkle. Which one do we have in here? Let's go to visual, trail. We can see that's trail size. Okay, so I'm reusing one of the materials, which I should probably separate, because I want this one to be more of a Doctor Strange portal, which was one of the first, oh, wait a second, what is that? Disable oh, that's from the versioning. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, we're gonna keep that there and just port that into here and make this all. Okay, right. Can you explain real quick how to re-enable Bloom? Okay, so in Blender 4.2, Eevee Legacy was removed and Eevee Next was added. But it's not a one-to-one conversion, as we can see here. I think some of the conversions in this place weren't even in place with 4.2. But the bloom was removed from the nice handy-dandy checkbox here and put into the compositor, which is better for standardization and all that fun stuff between Eevee and cycles, but I do still miss it from the outliner. Or, no, the properties tab here. So it's now in the compositor. So here you want to add in a glare node, which defaults to streaks, and you want to set this to bloom. In my personal opinion, bloom should be the default or be its own separate node, but yeah. And then you just go and add it into there and it's all good. Before Blender 4.4, Bloom was very weird in the sense that it didn't have all these settings for like strength. There was a weird mix value that you had to set to like -0.95. So people were, well, people weren't the happiest with that. But now this is much more like the old Bloom, where you can set the tint and all this fun stuff, even new things for like the saturation and stuff like that. You can set the quality and all that's very nice. So yeah, let me go back over to the GeoNodes tab so that we can see this in play. So here, again, we can set this, actually, let's try ghosts. Oh, that's fun. That is so fun. The viewport compositor is very nice. Let's set this to streaks so that we can get the very nice, like, Instagram filter. look. I don't know why it's lagging. That's something I need to look into, because that seems to be something new with this release. Then there's Fog Glow, which was the previous way we would do bloom in compositing. I'm very glad that those days are behind us. But now we just have... Oh my god! Okay, yeah, Hold on, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Okay, every time without fail, every single... Oh yeah, and here's the other one. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know. I have no idea. This is hilarious. Well, here you can see the other... What is going on? Okay, oh, I really hope this isn't because this Blender file was in... I was using it during 4.4's development. I did re-add in the glare node from scratch, so I'm hoping that that's not the case. But it seems like something broke. Maybe I should just make a completely new blend file and then add everything into here, just on the off chance. But yeah, this is very, very funny. Very funny. Okay, let's go and do this, run it again. And that seems to work. Huh. Is funny. Well, I guess we're bug hunting today. Let's go to high, low. Okay. So what causes this bug? Let's do this. Go back to here. That seems to be fine. It was when I did control space. There we go. Okay. So it's something about control space that doesn't, that screws everything up. Let's go there, back to previous again, back to here, move the viewport around, back to there. Okay, that seems to fix it. Okay. So see, huh. Every single time. Every single time. Okay, so now, oh, I think we're getting another crash. Yep, we got another crash. One more. Here we go again. But this is interesting. This is, I hands down, the most interesting bug that I've had so far. And I am using 4.0, right? Yeah, no, the panels would not show up if it wasn't 4.0. Okay, let's get back into the blend file. Okay, we are back and all that is working well. So I'm going to just not do that. And hope that whatever that issue was gets fixed in the 0.1 version. But just keep that in mind. Updated drivers. Actually, that may be the case? I don't know. Like, I've used the viewport compositor quite a bit, but that in particular has never happened in all my testing with 4.4 alphas and betas. But yeah, there is a chance that's a driver thing on my side. Okay. Let's go and make this, let's see, trail portal, and we'll just try to make this the classic Doctor Strange colors, you know, orange, very, very copyrightable color right there. And we are going to make this trail portal, and we'll try to make this a little more like that. That's looking pretty good. I really like how it has that kind of afterglow. Let's see. Almost like a long... Oh yeah, that's one of the inspirations for this one. Long exposure of steel wool burning as you're swinging it around. So let's go and set this. Let's turn down the sub-step iterations because there's a bit of a stutter happening, which I'm not entirely sure why. Let's disable. Nope, there's still an occasional stutter. Yeah, there's a lot that I need to look into with all this. Let's set the particles per second to be 2,000. And we can see that that's looking very, very cool. But I think we need even more, but I am somewhat hesitant because it probably will start to lag. I did implement substeps into here. Oh, that... You know, that may be a bit much, but let's go and change the lifetime to be 0.1 seconds. I finally implemented delta time, and I'm very happy about that. Oh, I should add in a random lifetime to all this. I really should. But I think in this case we can deal with, let's do 5,000. That seems to be a good number. Oh wait, that actually, I'm not going to complain about lowering the particle counts. Yeah, that seems to be pretty good right there. The particles bounce, they can have friction, which I should go and show. So let's go and hide all that. I also indented the subpanels here so that it's a bit easier to see at a glance what is going on. Let's see, the stream seems to be working just fine. Okay, let's go over to collision and turn up the friction to be 1. So now, whenever these hit, almost all of their velocity will just stop. Then if we do this, they will just go and go infinitely, which in my opinion looks very, very cool. Let's set that to 0.05. And actually, I think we can get away with 1 substep. No, we cannot. We cannot get away with 1 substep. So I should make the platform here even bigger, just so that the collision has an easier time. So 0.5 negative. Actually, let's make sure that this is actually just 0.5. So at 0.6, let's set it to be 0.5. Much, much better. Then there is that. If you're wondering what these lines are, that's just when the trail system has only 1 particle to work on instead of like several per like trail particles. So it tries to create a curve, but there's only 1 point. So it's just like, oh, there's nothing to do. But it doesn't show up in the render, so it's all good. Let's go and change a few other things. Let's go and do that. I think that's fine. Yeah, and then for the noise, we can go and do... Look good there. Let's hide the random and put you right into there. That should be good. So the age will determine... that doesn't seem to be right. Nope. Over to here. Ah, there we go. We just needed to scale that up by a lot. And then let's go and divide the tie by 100. There we go. That's a bit better. Nice kind of waterfall type look. Even though that is a little bit much, let's go and soften that just a little bit more. Okay, maybe, ooh, that is a unique texture, but not quite what I'm going for. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like glitter, but interesting. Very interesting, but again, not quite what I'm looking for. I'm using smooth step. Let's go and turn down the log, because I think it would look a little bit better if we did that. Okay. Again, very sparkly, a little too sparkly. So let's, I don't know, I'm just doing a multiply here, which does work. Let's see. Let's go and multiply this by maybe 10. Yeah, that feels a little bit better. Again, very glowy, very sparkly. Again, we're going for that steel wool kind of look. We can go and make it so that the color... Ooh, I'm liking a lot of these colors. A little too bright, so let's lower that. It is quite cool. I think the kind of red... Like, it is get... Oh, wait, I probably should change this to use AGX instead of Filmic. So if we do AGX, we can see that we get less clipping with the colors, but it feels, you know, a bit less saturated. I don't know, I do like the clipping. Even though it's not accurate, it feels just a bit better. And then maybe... can change the color over time. So let's go and try that out and see if that feels better. So there we go. We're going to have this in the orange parts. And then as it changes, we can put it more into the reds. Yeah, maybe. Just maybe. Not really feeling that. Let's see. Have you tried PBR neutral? From what I've heard about PBR neutral, that's so that you can get like accurate colors when working with like brand, like when you're working on a brand project and they need really specific colors. That's what it's kind of aiming for, like very accurate colors. I forgot what talk it was, but I think it was at the Blender conference when they talked about that. Or maybe 4.3's changelog. I am forgetting. We could try using it, and it does feels a little too vibrant, which is very interesting. Oh, and also, funny thing. Oh god. Okay, I was worried that since I went into full screen mode on that tab, it would ruin everything. Oh, but it did break the background, so that's something. Or no, that's just Chronos. Let's go back to Filmic. The color wheel does not have anti-aliasing anymore, which I'm kind of surprised by. I'm assuming that's with them changing like the rendering, like for overlays and stuff like that. But now it does not have anti-aliasing. Let's see. So that's like that. Raycasting portal with the particles. Yes, that could be done. There is the one caveat with the ray portal. Actually, yeah, let's go and do that. It's been a long time since I've played around with the ray portal node, and I should be using it more often. I really, really should. Okay, let's save this in its current state. Maybe just change that by a little bit more. I do want to change the lifetime of the trail. I need to put in a random multiplier for that. Let's put this to be 2.5. Nope. 0.25. There we go. It feels just a little bit too short. So let's set it to be 0.5 and instead lower the total particles per second. So there we go, spawning. Let's change this to be 2,000 particles per second. Yeah, that feels all right. For there, I do want to extend. Yeah, I think it's for a stylized Doctor Strange portal. I think that's all right. I think it's fine. Okay, let's go and hide that. Look at the size collision, make sure that's all good. Oh, I also need to make sure that I renamed the trail size because I accidentally did that. Control S. Okay, let's go to the portal once again and add an array portal object or shader. Here we go. Let's go and parent you to you. Oh, also, I've made some developments with the constraints custom build that I've been working on, so I do want to showcase that later on. Let's go over to Cycles and then get the Ray Portal node. Now, Cycles famously loves transparency, so we can see here it's having a very, very fun time with all that. So let's go and bump up the transparent passes to be 50, which seems to be okay. So let's go and get the Ray Portal node. Oh, no, the Ray, not Pay. Okay, and we can see here with this current implementation of the Ray Portal node, it just acts like complete transparency. That's because the position is using the geometry position, while we can make this use whatever we want. So here we can move it so that it's looking somewhere else. Now I'm going to hide the particles just to make it a little easier to see what's happening. So here we can see that we're just moving think of it like a virtual position for where this portal is. So right now it's clipping right here. And I believe this is in global space. Yeah, this is in global space. So here, and we can see that the Ray Portal node loves to make fire. Wait, is that the Ray Portal node or is that just the shadow? I'm going to assume that's the Ray Portal node being iffy. And if we do this, we can see we get an infinite amount of portals because the light is just going back 2 meters and then firing again. And that is incredible. And the direction, I believe, is the direction is the incoming, except scaled by -1 if I remember correctly. So here we'll set this to be -1 and we can see that's working perfectly. But if we set this to be the normal, this will act like an orthographic camera. So if we do that, we should see, and set that to be 0. here we can see that this is acting like an orthographic camera, just pointing straight. So it's just viewing that, and if we scale this up, we can see, again, looking very orthographic. Because it's just firing all the rays just according to the normal, which I do quite like. So let's do that, and then, yeah, where should we put this portal? We can put it wherever we want. So, let's see. Oh, that looks cool. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just keep it right there. We don't need to change the incoming. And then, yeah, let's go and re-enable the particles. So here we can see rather slowly because we are using cycles. And let's turn on the denoising. It's set to automatic, which seems to work quite well. We can see that it is functioning fairly well. We can just see portal after portal after portal after portal. Now, if I wanted to make this a little bit better, I would put in a little bit of... we are getting the flashbang effect. I don't know why that's happening. It's either like a GPU driver issue or... yeah, or maybe just a bug with 4.3. Yeah, I am quite confused. Quite confused with that. But it is very funny, at the very least. Like, it's not me having more passes opening, right? I disabled all the extra passes just in case. But yeah, that is quite interesting. Very interesting. Let's try it again. There we go. Maybe it's because... okay, now it seems to be fine, and there is bloom. So it just needs to reset occasionally. Like, it forgets to reset every once in a while. Yeah, and occasionally causes a crash. Alright, let's go into the settings here, and then turn up the friction, which is in the collision. So here we go, collision, and let's go and bump that up to 0.1. Now you can also make it so that they delete on the hit, which just does that, which is, you know, good for performance if you need it. Self-collision I could enable, but in this case we really don't want that. Again, looks cool. Looks cool. Here we go. So yeah. Yep. So let's add this to a new object to just showcase how this would theoretically work. Let's add in a plane, move it up, and then look up the particle system, which we just need particle simulation modifier v5, because it's the 5th iteration of this. It'll output 10 particles per second by default. Let's go and turn this up to around 50. We can see that we're getting falling particles from where the original source object was. We can show the self object right here if you want. Maybe I should have that on by default. Maybe. I'll think about that. And then you can also change the frequency, so you can do bursts. So right here we can see that, yep, it is sending out particles every 10 seconds, 10 frames. Which I thought about changing this so that it would be once every so many frames, or seconds, not frames, but I think this one is a little bit better. So for movement, let's go into the collision and then use the collider collection, and we shall now see that it's now doing that. So in just a few clicks, you now have a simulation that is colliding with everything and doing all that, and it's all fun. Let's add in the self-collision with another click, and here we can see that it is now doing that and having a few little performance hiccups, which I'm still not sure why that's happening. That did not happen before. But yeah, we can see that that's occurring, and all that's looking very nice. If we want to add in a trail, we go into the... actually, let's go with instances first. You click Enable Instance, and then you can just click whatever instance you want. So in this case, we have coins. We can see that the rotation is also working by default. So it's a very nice and convenient particle system. That is the goal. Something where you just have a few clicks and you get it set up really easily. Let's enable the trail. So now we can see that these are now trailed, and then we can set this to be... let's use the size collision, the trail size 1, and we can see that that's all working very nicely. There we go. So in a few clicks, you have everything you could want in a particle system, in a simple one. Now, in the future, I'm hoping that a proper collision system gets added to geometry nodes, which would make this more robust and hopefully a lot faster, because right now this relies on multiple substeps, which can get kind of laggy, kind of fast. But yeah, and then, you know, with self-collisions, that is also ripe for errors. But yeah, that is the vision. Okay, let's go to, what else was I going to do? Let's go and disable the gravity. By default, the gravity is 9.8 meters per second squared going down. Oh, and also, I am working on a scene info node so that it'll just use the scene gravity instead of, you know, gravity that you have to put in by default. Like I would just have a checkbox for use scene gravity, and that would be on by default. But that's if I can get that into 4.5, but we'll see about that. But if we disable gravity, we can see that all that happens, and it looks very nice. Let's go and disable self-collisions. So let's go into the collision tab, turn off self-collisions so that they don't move away too much. Oh, and yeah, I forgot about that. For the initial velocity, you can have a normal input for that. So here we can see that these are moving up according to the normal. So let's go and swap this out with an icosphere. Yeah, icosphere is better. Yep. Let's go and do that and move that over to here. I'll read the chat in a second. But here we can see particles are moving away. And just so that I remember now, I'm going to change the normal velocity to have a default of 1 because I forgot to update that when I implemented delta time. And again, we do not want to look inside the geometry nodes tab. All this should be in the modifier. And now that we have this, let's add in some forces. So here in the movement tab, we're going to go to forces, which will just enable noise and then set this to be like 3. So here we can see that these are all moving around and having a fun time. Again, a very simple setup that did not take long, and it just works. In the famous words of Todd Howard. Let's go to the, let's go to the size sphere and then do that. We can see that these particles are turning red whenever they collide, and that is done inside of the shader. Let's see, let's read the chat while this is running. That ray portal is one of the most useful nodes they've added to shaders. Yes, it is incredible. I need to use it more often, but unfortunately with my employment, it is not needed as much as I would like. Let's see, it looks like the viewport compositing effects are stuck. Yeah. Do you have an easy setup for cloud creation? Not at the moment. Other people do, so I would recommend looking that up on Gumroad. Let's see. Looks fast and both computationally and UX, although it could be used with an array modifier if it was a wall of them. Yeah, with the ray portal, you could, well, with the ray portal node, it actually functions as you would expect with light going through a portal. So if there was a very tiny room, you could ray portal into that very tiny room. Well, if you had an array modifier, it wouldn't really work. So it allows for a lot more, even though that, I think that was a 4. Was that 4.2 or 4.3 when that came out? I think it was 4.2, but I need to use that more. It could allow for some cool baking workflows. Yes. Would motion blur function with this? With this setup, it should, if you're talking about the particle system and not the ray portal node. Let me save this just in case, and render, or wait. Motion blur and render. We can see that motion blur is working exactly as intended. We can see with these spheres. Let's go and bump this up to 5 so that we can really see it in action. Beautiful motion blur working correctly. So let's go and set this to be 0.5 once again. That's why I disabled motion blur, because we see it in the viewport. Looks quite nice. Go and disable it once again. What else do we need to do? I mean, this is okay. Maybe I'll have this as another demo, potentially. Let's take a look at the Souls demo again, because I really like this one. I think their trails are just a tad too long. So let's go and hide all the other panels and go to trail and then set it so that this is half a second. There we go. Oh, it did not refresh. So let's set this to be 250 milliseconds. And make it so that... Did I bake it? No, okay, it just was a little bit slow on the update. Oh, I was selecting the wrong object. Okay, that explains a lot. Here we go. So now, ooh, I like the look of that. That looks very, very cool. Looks like proper souls traveling around. Let's turn up the spawning and set it to be 2000, because I really want my computer to suffer. Like, look at that. Oh, and I should mention that all of these trails are aligned to the camera. So they will always look correct according to the camera. That looks really cool. Laggy as hell because, again, overlapping transparency is terrible in both Eevee and Cycles now. But yeah, let's do, well, and also too many trails causing it to lag. Unfortunately, I cannot create like GPU hair geometry to render the trails. Hopefully, eventually that comes in the future. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I want to render that and play it back, because look at that. Ooh, I love it. That's some cool stuff. Okay, let's go and move this back. Yeah, the spawner is just a little bit, I don't know, it doesn't feel fancy enough. Words. I am a little bit tired because yesterday I was coding in some new stuff to the custom build of Blender that I have, which I will show eventually. Maybe not this stream because people might get confused with the title. I don't know, maybe we'll just have this as a segment at the end. Yeah, I really like the look of that. And this is just with the default noise. Oh, and I haven't even gotten into the force fields. So with this particle system, let's go and turn on the trails. Again, I absolutely love how easy it is to add in trails with this, because that was the goal. Here we can see force fields being used. Now this is an optional feature with it because it's still a work in progress, but I made a geometry nodes force field setup where you can change it to be sphere when vortex, noise, drag is not supported, so I should go and remove that. Theoretically, I could support it, but I will try to implement that later on. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. But we can see that these particles are now, let's set this to be 0.25 seconds. There we go, that's a bit better. We can see that the particles are moving around at a very fast rate of speed while they are in the wind section. And if I move this, it is a bit laggy, and I am a little bit annoyed by that. I'm assuming that's just because, do I have self-collisions enabled? I have collisions enabled. There's something with the collision system that is causing it to lag a lot more than it did, and I'm kind of confused as to why. But anyway. Yeah, we can see that the force fields are working as intended, and there is a noise force field. So in this case, it's so that you can sync forces between multiple particle systems at the same time, which is nice. Could you add line art to every spawning particle? I mean, in theory, yes, if it's a part of the shader. I haven't used Blender's inbuilt line art for a long time. I would recommend, if it's another modifier, I would recommend no. But if it's on the shader, I would say yes, because that would be fairly easy. If it's like a compositor effect, then yeah. As long as it's not modifying the geometry from this, you're good. Okay, so we have that. That's looking very nice. And also we can see the force visualizer, which is just showing the velocity offsets for all of these, which looks very cool. I should remove the, should I remove this? I don't know. And also I should put a in parentheses P before the geometry node force field so that people know it's compatible with the system. And you just need to enable that under the hood, or not under the hood, inside the modifier for the other systems in this setup. So if I were to enable this with this guy, which will be probably a little bit slow, geometry node force fields, and then we can do geometry node force fields. I'll just evaluate all that, and we can see it is having a whale of a time, which is very nice. I love this look. Okay, though I should have this inside of the forces, because, you know, it's a force field. You just put that into there. But yeah, let's go and move that right now. That's why I do these streams, to do a live demo of where things should be. Again, this setup will be on out on my Gumroad page for free in the near future. Let's go and, yeah, just put you there. It'll be at the top. You can have force fields and then just noise, surface, or a curve. In this case, noise is all that we need. That's looking pretty good. Let's go back to here and look at the amazing looking glitches. Why are my drivers just out of date? Because I am quite confused with all that. Let me just check something really quickly. That part seems to be good. Okay. Let's run it again. But yeah, something with the compositor seems to be a little bit broken, and I'm hesitant to think it's on my side. But yeah, I'll need to look at that. But yes, any other colors that look really good? I think the purples. Ooh, oh, I love that. Sorry that I keep saying that, but yeah, I am quite enjoying looking at all this. Now that right there is the product thumbnail. That's what I want people to see when they boot this up. Yep. Okay. And in the shader, we can see that the shader is just a couple of gradients. One for the emissive part, one for the smoke parts, and then, you know, just a noise texture to... Oh, that looks so cool. This could probably be used for like a waterfall style effect. You know those long exposure photos where it's like the waterfall looks more like smoke falling down a hill? Yeah, that could be cool. There we go. That's all good. Again, all these lines are just... They're only in the viewport, which I could remove them, but I think it's better if you see that the particle does exist, but there's just nothing more to add. So yeah, that is good. Also set the damping, be a bit more. Look at that. All kinds of magic effects will be possible with this setup. There we go, there we go, and there we go. I like how small this is. I was also wondering if I should put in little icons for all this. Because for those of you who don't know, you can put emojis inside of these, inside of Blender. And I'm hesitant to use them, but it would be kind of funny. So if we go over to here, to the group, like I could just try like having an asterisk, just to have a little symbol there. Let's go and, oh, that did not control Z that. I've seen some people put in emojis and it just feels a little off when they do, but it could potentially be useful. Having actual icons for all that. I don't know, let's try this live. This may be a bad idea, but let's try this live. Emoji list, let's go and search this up. Let's see, what's the best place to just copy emojis? List of emojis on Wikipedia. Oh wow. They have a whole map for this. That is very cool. Actually, let's try this. Will this actually work? Or will it crash? It actually worked. Okay. I got the weirdest one I could find, which is just a beach with an umbrella. And it actually does show up perfectly. Man, that must be a pain to support. But yeah, if we have movements, what would be a good showcase of movements? Like an arrow would be fine. Or maybe, is there like wind? Oh, there's an option for a tornado. But you can barely see it with the scale, so I'm assuming... Yeah, no, let's not do that one. There's a standard arrow. If we put that into there, even though I could just use... I don't hate that. It's not bad. Then visual, I can just make it the classic star. No, I don't hate it. Even though this one, though it doesn't have the white border that one does. No. I will need to think about that. There's buttons for like... diagonal buttons. Let's get just a standard play button into here, and we'll put this into the spawning, or the emitter. Here we go. So we have the emitter, movements, and then the visual side. Which one should you be? We can do... Let's just see what it looks like with these very nice standard blocky icons. I don't hate it, but I think... I'm undecided. Okay, that seems to be fine. So yeah, emitter, movement, and then the visual. I don't hate it, but it still feels a little bit weird. Then maybe this one for the movement instead. No, not feeling that one. Maybe this one will be better. No. Nope. I could try a meteor. Or, sorry, that's a comet. Nope. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. Let me check the chat, actually, to make sure I'm not missing anything. Doesn't Blender have their own icon pack that you can use with this, or does that have to be accessed through scripts? I think through scripts. I haven't tried using Blender's own icons in here. But if the emojis work... no. They do look quite different than in the emoji list. I'll put that on hold for now. But I kind of like this. Somewhat. Even though it feels like with the movement that should be a play button, and then the emitter should be something else. Whenever you update that, it expands the thingy. Okay. Yeah, what should... Oh, there's just an eye. I mean, it being an eye is weird, but... Sorry, I'm just looking through the emoji list. Hopefully it's not too boring. There's just an okay emoji. Just like, okay. Oh, there must be ones for letters, like bold letters. There is like the smiley face, the levitating man in a business suit. We could do that, or we could do that one. So I'm just playing around at this point. Let's see, where are the numbers? I see a few, but not all of them. or clocks, which could be cool. Speaker icons, lock icons, bell icons. So many icons. Just a random 10 in there. I'm not seeing ones for all the letters. Probably just because they're laid out a bit weird. Let's see what A looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty standard. Where are they? I don't know, let me try. Actually, we've spent too much time on this. So let me just get one of the arrows, put them in there, and then call it a day. Let's go and get you for just spawning. That'll work out just fine. Nope, I already used that one. We'll put I for the emitter, because you know it sounds similar. And then the fast forward button for the movement. I think that is good. There we go. So they feel kind of standardized, even though I should probably change them later on. There's the pause button. Okay, yep, that is more than enough. Use point icon as the emitter. The man running, yeah. Oh, there is a firework emoji. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, it's a little small. But yeah, I'll look through all the emojis and see which ones are best. Again, it feels very non-standard, but it could potentially work because seeing an icon can feel a lot better than just, you know, having words there. And then these I'll leave blank just because it feels a bit better. It marks the subpanels a bit better. But yeah, I'll look into all that, and that could work out quite well. Let's go back to the shader and change this back to this. Oh, that looks so cool. So cool. So many colors. You could choose. Oh, I do like how golden that one is, but maybe... Yeah, that looks good. Even though that would work very well for the portal. So many options. Like just we got a little bit more power with geometry nodes, like having subpanels and stuff like that, and we can do so much. And it feels like a working product where you don't need to install an add-on for it, which is nice. Okay. Anything else I should do before moving on? Because I think this will kind of wrap up setup for now. There is the plane, which, yeah, we don't need to keep you around. We have all the demos, which is very, very nice. Again, oh, the coin demo, I forgot about this. I should change the color for that. There is also, oh, I forgot about the Flipbook. I need to make more Flipbooks. Yeah, I keep forgetting about things that I implemented. Let's change you to be a lot more golden. There we go. That's looking a bit better. Metallic. Reflections are really working now. And also, make sure when you're using Eevee Next, make sure you turn up the thickness, because otherwise it can look like things are floating a bit too much compared to Eevee Legacy. So for me, the one I liked was 2 meters, but depending on the scale of your scene, you could do more or less. Look at that. And you can add in any color you want if you use the object info node, because you can get the random output and then use a color ramp. This is what I recommend for, well, actually no, I don't recommend that, because the random info can, oh, actually no, it doesn't shift because I planned for that. You can use the, oh, if you want to see all the attributes that are available on a given particle system, you go down to manage, let me close down the emitter, you go to named attributes, and you can see all of the used all of the used attributes. So you can get all of these in the shader editor and it'll work out well. But just keep in mind that they need to be on the instance domain. So let's go to the coin and let's add in an attribute and let's go set it to instancer. So here we'll do size and we can see that this is the size of every single particle. If this was randomized, it would change. We can do the age, which this will be, it'll be 1. It goes up by 1 every single second. So that is quite nice. And then the life is also in seconds. So if you want a normalized age value, actually, do I have a lifetime? I forget if I implemented lifetime. Ah, there is a lifetime on there. So that's just age divided by life. Let's go back to coin. So here we can do lifetime. So this will be a normalized gradient. Be a normalized gradient, which it does not look normalized to me. Did that break? Did that break? Let's go into the, oh, compositor breaking out again. Let's go back to you, go into the particle updates. Now, where is the lifetime handled? Not in there. Again, in the actual product, you won't have to do this at all. Where is the lifetime? Where did I put the lifetime? It has to be in here, right? There's that, there's life, there's age. There's the lifetime. Age is greater than the lifetime. Or no, the lifetime, sorry, I got it mixed up. The life, okay, no, it was not broken. It was not broken at all. Let's go back to the shader editor on the coin. The lifetime is how long it will last, in this case, 5 seconds. So that makes sense. And then the life is the linear gradient between when it spawns in and then when it dies. So, that works out quite well. Something like this be one of the demos. Oh yeah, this will be an included demo. Go. Oh right, we were going to get the random one. So random, I'll put that in there. If you're wondering why I capitalized the beginnings of the letters, it's because that's what I did before I... Well, I did that a long time ago when I was just a beginner at making simulations in geometry nodes, but it also helps that it differentiates it from the inbuilt attributes because those are generally always lowercase. So here you can see which ones are being handled by geometry nodes and which ones aren't. With the exception of, actually, I forgot. Did I take out, no, velocity is still capitalized. Because if this were lowercase in cycles, it would affect the motion blur for stuff like the trails. So I just have on a separate quote-unquote layer so that it does not affect everything else. But yeah, we can see random works out just fine. And we can put that into here, and that will be very nice and stable. Here, we're going to make these coins all sorts of colors, and they will look nice. Now, I think the bloom is a little bit too intense for some of these, but that is just because they are hitting the sunlight. Actually, no, let's raise it up. So, that looks okay. Let's go and change it. There we go. All the coins you could want. But yeah, let's go and delete that for now. We have so many more I could play with. There's the rock cell. Wait, what are you? Oh, right. If you wanted to, yeah, have those. Which here, the radius should be an average of 1. There's you. So yeah, I should organize this a little bit better. And here, that's just the trail particle, or the spark particle, which is supposed to work with the Doctor Strange portal. But I won't be using it at this time. Oh, is the compositor broken again? Yep, it was. Okay, and then right here we have the Flipbook, which I should show how to actually use that. Because this one already has the age being put into there. Or this should be the life, shouldn't it? So that will go through one... or the animation when it happens. Okay, so to showcase this, let's go and make a new particle system that will spawn off of this particle system. Or actually, that might be a bad idea. So let's do that in the size collision demo. So here we'll have particles moving around, but let's add in a new particle system that will spawn stuff in. Let's change this so that it's set to all. Let's get rid of that. Again, that's versioning because Eevee Next is still kind of lacking some of that functionality, so it has to be, well, they removed that on purpose. I am rambling. Let's go to the particle system, the particle modifier. So here, I do like the emojis. They do help quite a bit. Let's see. I meant thing in the YouTube link. Oh, sorry, missed that. Thing in the YouTube link. Oh, do you mean the thumbnail? Sorry, I've been staring at this for so long. I've been neglecting the chat once again. For the emitter, we are going to turn off the enabled selection so that no particles will spawn in. And then we'll go to children, enable children, and then we'll select this one right here. Wait. That was actually accidentally in the collision collection. Let's make sure it's not in the collision collection. Let's go to demo size collision so that it will not collide with that. So here we can see that children will spawn when the particles die. We can already see them spawning right there. And we'll make it so that the, let's see, the initial velocity, oh, the initial velocity is not functioning. That means I accidentally disconnected it. Wait a minute. Excuse me, where is the... So the initial velocity is that, but there's no offset. That is really... Oh, wait, I think I know why. Actually, no, I do not know why. Initial velocity is just not included. For some reason, that was just not functional. The grayed out parts here are very, very nice. Initial velocity, if we do that, then connect this into here, we should see that it's now functioning again. So here we'll set this to be 100 meters per second going up. So we'll see that whenever these die, the particles will go flying upwards, which looks very nice. Let's set this to be like that. Let's set the random velocity to be 2. Oh, you set a YouTube link, but apparently YouTube doesn't allow links in the chat. Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, that's just a security measure. If you could describe it for me, maybe I can do it, if it's not too complicated. Okay, so here we can see 10 particles spawn in per child. So when those particles die, they spawn in new children, and then all that happens. But in this case, I want just one child. And then we'll set this so that it'll be like that for the movement. For the velocity, we'll go and disable any movement in that regard. And then we will go and turn off offset parent velocity so that this will just have, yep, just particles spawning in and doing their thing. So let's disable all of the movements. Let's see, we'll do that. So here we can see that those particles spawn in. So now we can use this to go and have the, where is it? Where's the Flipbook? And I did not, which one are you? No. You need to be Flipbook particle. Yes, there we go. Let's go back to the new thing right here, and then here we will do the Flipbook particle. So here we will see, let's go and turn off the size scale. Right, the rotation is not reset with these. That's okay. But here we can see when the particles spawn in, we can see that the Flipbook then plays, which I need to make a better demo using that. Oh yeah, I could just reset the rotation and we can see that works out quite well. Except again, with Eevee Next, the shadows, the transparent shadows need to be disabled, which is so fun. It's no longer just a simple checkbox. But yeah, we can see that that part is now working. They're all spawning in and then doing the little flipbook animation. Yeah, I need to make a proper demo with that, but not quite. Actually, wait. Let's disconnect it from any of the other demos. So here we'll turn off enable children, and then spawning will enable the selection. That will just have you right there, and we will disable the velocity. So in this case, the normal velocity will be 0. There, we can see that all that's working quite well. So the last thing, oh, and we can see that the animation is playing slowly, very slowly. Flipbook demo. And we'll put you, whoops, not in there. Do not put anything besides colliders in there. Into there. So I will put you there, and that seems to be fine for the initial velocity. All that seems to be just fine. I can't believe I forgot about that. But that's why the pocket fading is very, very useful. Let's see that the... What's it again? I need to go and get the disable shadow and put you into here. Nope, into the flipbook particle. Put you right there, and then put you in there. So now, if I enable transparent shadows, now those will no longer have shadows, and I can rest easy. Even though maybe in this case we can keep the shadows. Actually, yeah, we don't even need that. Okay, let's go and hide the size collision and then keep the flipbook demo right here. Here we can see that the flipbooks are working. They're just very, very slow. Actually, why is that freaking out a little bit? Oh, I think it's because they, yeah. I think I need to just divide the age by a little bit. Because they are looping, aren't they? Let's go over to here and... Oh, I did not put that in. Okay. I could use the frame time, I could use the scale, or yeah, right, that's the scale, but we want that closed by default. I could just divide this by a little bit so that it doesn't start looping. Here we should see, nope, that still doesn't. Maybe a little bit more, because unfortunately I am forgetting about how that part works. Let's go back over to here. Let's see, we are past an hour, so I should wrap up the stream. Let's go over to, let's close everything besides the particle info. And we'll do, the lifetime we'll set you to be 0.5. There we go, and we can see that now those are, yep, having a grand old time, going a little bit too fast, just a little. To the visual side, go to the instance, turn off reset rotation. And right now the rotation is randomized. Which, yeah, let's change that to be 0. That's like that. Yeah, I need to make a better example with all that, because right now it's still not great. Maybe I just need to get a better flipbook. But that would be like for rain or something along those lines. So let's set this to be 1.5. There we go, that's a bit better. Actually, that's not too bad. But yeah, it feels a little bit underwhelming. So let's crank up the amount of particles. So let's go to spawning and set this to be 100. I mean, that's okay. It does look like there are, well, yeah, there are duplicates. Maybe I should change this so that it's try instead of just the crisscross. Not sure. Not too sure. Let's change it so that it's a nice blue. But yeah, that's an option, though I'm still not completely sold on the look here. Maybe I can make it look a little bit better with a color ramp. And yeah, maybe just the color ramp could be enough. Nope, nope, not enough. So yeah, maybe I'll delete this, but just keep the Flipbook particle in there. Not sure. But the fire looks good. Green, and all that. It's an option, but again, yeah. It needs to be worked on. So for now, I will just delete you so that there's not bloat inside of the file. But, yeah. So this seems to be good. I think for what people will first see is the Souls demo, which I should probably rename that because that's, you know, a little bit too intense. Souls, maybe more like Embers, Magic Embers. Demo, Magic Embers. Yeah, that seems better. Magic Embers. And change that so that's not like that. Let's go and do this, open this, do that, and then for the material, let's go back onto here. It'll be the Magic Embers. There we go. So that seems to be good. That seems to be acceptable. And the human is not in the collision collection. That's mainly just for, you know, scale reference and stuff like that. We'll just keep you right over there. And to do that, we will change that to be like that, but that's... I want to keep the amount of materials as low as possible, you know, because I do not like bloats in my setups. So the fractured cell will make the floor as well. Yep, that seems to be good. Then right here, this will be the coin. Over here, that one's already labeled. No, it's not. Okay, so size sphere. There we go, and then there's the crystals, there's the flipbook, and then here is the spark. Spark. There we go. So here we can see that all those seem to be fine, just with a few materials that I do not know where they are, where they came from, or where they are going. Oh wait, I know. I do know. The force visualizer, so force visualizer. I'll keep it in there because some people will find that very interesting. But that'll be that for that one. And then there's one more that I don't know. Are all these accounted for? It looks like all of them are accounted for. Nice. Okay, that seems to be good. Let's turn off the force field demo and we'll just have the magic embers there. Turn off the instanced objects. And we'll just have this one right here on display. It'll look very, very cool. We're just going to have all the particles spawning in, turning into this amazing display. Yep, I think it's almost ready. Almost. But I need to do the one thing that I forgot. Is to add in an option for a randomized lifetime for each and every trail. Because in here, which one was it? Where is the, for the new particles, it is interesting how big these become with all the inputs, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's see, so for the new particles, oh right, the new particles I initialize here, right. Then there's a random life part right there, so I could go and copy this. And then put this over to there, or I could just include it right here. Just have a part in there so that we can void all this on the top level. I think that is a good idea. The mix here is a factor of 1, yep. Random life will just multiply between that and that based on not the scene time, just the random value. I need to delete those. Good thing I did that. We have all that. We have the point trail mesh to camera. There's probably a good amount of this I could redo because of Blender 4.4. The time being, the trail lifetime. Where does the trail? Okay, that gets set right there. When it spawns in, I could make that whatever I want. So here, I would multiply it by a random value, but only if mix between the two. So mix between the multiplied version and the not multiplied version, which I need to check. Wait, did I set that up wrong back here where I did a mix before the I think I did that incorrectly. Yeah, no, why that is an unnecessary node. Very unnecessary. The random size could just be a factor in there and then a multiply, so I could just eliminate a lot if I really wanted to. I could literally just do that and call it a day. An entire node completely eliminated. In theory, let me just double check that. Because random size... Oh, actually, no. No, I have that there for a reason because that technically inverts the value. But technically that does mean I could just do a 1 minus. We're splitting hairs here. Yeah, no, we don't need to do that. Let's just use the standard part right here. So that if the value is higher, there will be more randomness in the mix. We're going to have a new value in here. By default, it'll be 0, so there will be no randomness. It'll just be the lifetime will be the just the lifetime, yep. Then here we're going to multiply this. Now, I could make this not use scene... Actually, no, let's make it use scene time. That would be a bit better. I also need to look into possibly making it so that there is a hashed value for every single particle. That may be a good idea. We're just going to put that in there to avoid nodes on the outside. So this will be random lifetime. Go, and we're going to put that right into there, right below you. Trail length. So this is, let me go in this random lifetime. Factor, default 0. That seems to work just fine. So now if I were to do this and crank it up to 100%, we will see that all of these are a lot smaller because it only shortens them, which I think is good. You have your maximum and then this will basically set the minimum. Yes, I think that is a good idea. So now we need to unhide this egregiously long thing and then put it in input. And then we need to move that input all the way down, which we can close off the emitter, the movement, and just go to the visual, and then just put that into here. So now we have the random lifetime right there, and it lives happily ever after. So again, new feature, just implemented. Very nice. This is so much easier than adding in new inputs in coding in inputs for constraints. That's why nodes are just so much easier to use than code. At least, you know, when you're building source code and all that. So yeah, we'll keep that like that, just for a nice little feature. And I could also, if I wanted to, put in the random lifetime into there instead of having this. And then, oh yeah, putting in a maximum might be a good idea. But yeah. Let's see, let me read the chat while all this is happening. Let's see, someone mentioned the UE5 series faking volumetric smoke with Niagara VFX. I may look into that in the future. Hey, so I have an edge in Blender that is 12 inches long. I need to plot points every 5 inches starting from the first vert, heading towards the second vert. I tried a mesh line, but it won't work when I tried plugging it in. Oh, you're having trouble with that. Let's see. So, quick tech support. Change the edge to a curve, resample the curve by the length, set it to be 5 inches, and then turn the curve to a mesh. Simple as that. I've seen multiple different particle systems that people have built in GeoNodes, all with their own definitions and how to interact with them. I think it would be nice for the if the community would standardize around some of the settings so subs could become more portable, but maybe it's a bit too early and people are still experimenting with how particles should look in GeoNodes. Yeah, that's definitely what's currently happening. Everyone has their own different setups because everyone has a different idea of how they should be. In this case, you can see that most of this is just particles with trails, particles, it's meant to be just a modifier that you just use and it works. So with mine, it's much less of a total particle system, even though it does have that under the hood, and just a tool. You just use that and it's all self-contained. I'll buy it for sure. Well, that's the good news because it will be free up on my Gumroad page. Probably, maybe at the end of the day, if I get around to it. But it will be free up on Gumroad. Here we go. Like, could I make it paid? Yeah. Would it probably bring in a lot more money? Definitely. Because with Gumroad, if you put up something for free, the maximum you'll bring in is like over like a year is maybe like $30 to $50, 20 to 50. Even if it's, you know, super useful, just because, you know, only a few people donate, which is completely fine. I completely understand. That's why it is free. But paid things do, even if it's like $5, that brings in a lot more money. But it's less accessible, which I want this one to be accessible because I've wanted a convenient particle system for a long time in Blender. Updated from the old particle system, especially with easy to use trails. So that's why I'm making this, that's why I'm putting it out for free. So I hope you all enjoy. I hope you all enjoy. Okay, so yes, the random size, I'm going to put that inside of the setup. Oh wait, no, I can't put this one in there because the size is linked to the mass in this case. Yeah, we'll leave that out there. So yay, less stuff to do. The random lifetime, no, this one does need to be in there. So this is, what is this? Particles from mesh/curve. Okay. Mesh/curve. Now, hopefully, see, or should I just put it in there? Actually, that might be better. Yeah, maybe better to just put it into the set particle info so that it, well, just so that it could be everywhere instead. The lifetime, we have that. And then we can have the lifetime be randomized by the random seed. That could be a good idea. The random seed will decide the random lifetime. That may be a good idea. Now, it is a little bit finicky to add something like this that low level inside of there, but I think in this case it is 100% allowed. Random seed, which this will be, seed is the seed time plus that. So we don't need you, and we'll just put you into there. Maybe we'll add integer math, right? We do have that node now. We'll put that in there. So here, that will be the multiply, and then here we'll set you to be 0 so that there will be no randomness. And then that'll be like that. So here we have, there we go. This will be random lifetime, just to eliminate more nodes that are outside and just being used again and again and again. We want this to be nice and optimized. And if I need to edit it down the line, I could. But for now, I think it's fine. We'll just put you into a nice little frame. So we can label this random lifetime. Now, I do comment a lot with all my setups, and that's because I assume that someone who's less experienced with geometry nodes will be looking through and wondering what's going on. So I want this to be educational for them in that case. Here we go, random lifetime will just be plugged into there. That's looking good. And then here we can just, random life. I'll keep it as random lifetime for now underneath there. Did I? No, I did not put that in the right place. That's why. Okay. We'll put you right there, and we're editing this while it is currently playing, which may be a very, very bad idea. We'll do that, connect you into there, so now we can eliminate all of this, which I am very happy about. Less node stuff going around. Okay, so as the stream is wrapping up, I think this is good. And we can eliminate you as well. So less nodes, more nodes under the hood. Very good. Okay. So now we just need to test that it actually works the way I intend. So particle spawn info, random life. Let's make sure that particles just delete randomly. That seems to be working very well. Exactly as I intended. And we'll set U so that they'll be 0.5. That seems to be good. And then over here we can set the random lifetime, or wait. Yeah, that is what I wanted, okay. I think in this case we'll do 0.25 or maybe 0.1, because I feel like it's a little bit much. Yeah, no, or we can extend the life to 1 second for the really long ones. Just to make it a little bit messier and not as refined. And then for the movement, let's go over to the forces and then change the scale to be 0.25. I don't know, let's make that 1, or was it 1 already? Yeah, it was. Let's set it to be 2. Also in Blender 4.4. Wait, why are these all biased towards the end here instead of spawning in the middle? Something... uh-oh. A problem. These are not spawning at the end. Wait, it's not spawning in the middle anymore. Uh-oh, we may have an issue here. Let's go and check that. Yeah, why are they only spawning on the edges? Count per second and all that. I think internally I did make it so that... oh boy, this is a mess. Let's see. Selection, seed, Scrooby points. Yeah, this should be only on faces. Why is it only on the edges? Oh, wait, I know. Wait, do I even know? Move this up just to make sure. Scale it up. What is going on here? Yeah, no, that is a big problem. Let's see. Why are you... that might be a big issue. We Control T, then we can see... okay, just that's an end gone. That's not the worst thing in the world. So I'm just going to do the... or is it... is that a big problem? I forgot how I did that algorithm in here, but I think it's fine last time I checked. Just gonna do that. That's for the mixture. Yeah, I need to look into that again. But anyway. That seems to be good. Let's go and enable it once more. So here we can have all of them spawning in. Having a fun time. I was like, why does this look weird now? And that's because the compositor was broken again. Fun stuff. Yeah, I am extremely impressed by my knack for finding bugs with every new release, every time I stream it. And it's only one. It's never multiple at once. And whenever I am doing Blender on experimental builds and stuff like that, there are never bugs, usually never bugs. It's only when a new release comes out. But yep, that is what's currently happening. So let's set this to 0.5 once again, so that we can see all that. That looks beautiful. That looks amazing. Okay, that is that. So that's the geometry node tab. Is the shading tab looking okay? Yep, that's looking good. That's that. That is not pitch black. It's all good. Okay. It is now 1 hour and 28 minutes, which is way, way, way too long. Okay. So now that that's happening, this is effectively done. Let's go back to the nodes tab. So, just a little bit more to work on. And then this will be up on Gumroad sometime in the near future. I hope you're all ready for that. And also, it seems like alpha blended stuff is no longer refracting. Though I'm not sure where is the plane like oh. See that that's there we go, okay. We just needed that again. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, that's all fine. Maybe I could make this... no, it's all good. No, I keep you in there? It does make the render a little bit better. I'll just put you in there for now. Maybe I can scale you up to infinity. I'll just keep that in there for now. But yeah, there we go. Okay, now that this is done, I'll be shifting gears into the stuff I've been working on in the custom builds of Blender. So, we will be moving away from Blender 4.4. The stuff that you are about to see is inside of a custom build. Just keep that in mind. This is no longer 4.4. This is just a little addendum at the end of the stream. So let me go and boot up the custom build of Blender that I have. Here we go. Let's go and select Blender. Music changed when it really should not have changed. I thought I looped it. Yeah, it was looped. Why did it continue? Anyway. Let's go and boot that up. So there will be a few interesting things inside of this project. Almost ready, almost ready. Let's go back to the constraint. Oh, yes, the constraints. I almost forgot about that. So, again, this is a... let's put in a text thing right here. Let's see, big thing. Custom build. No longer 4.4. This is a custom build. Custom build, not 4.4. Okay, here we go. So people will be able to tell. We've moved on from 4.4. Okay. So here we can see with my little constraint set up right here, I've added in new features. The domain can now be the edge and the face. And the sample mode works with all of them with sampling nearest, which was a headache to figure out because it kept crashing because I did not use the right inputs for the function. But here we can see, yep, putting geometry nodes data onto actual objects. It's working very nicely now. And we can make it, let me hide all of the other tests for now so that we can see this. We can see that I can now disable the rotation, location, and scale separately, which is very nice for just usability. It just goes and wipes that part of the 4x4 matrix, which means that you can still do shearing if you so desire. Yeah, that is that. Except, you know, when all of them are enabled, it works normally. When you separate some of them, it will turn off the shearing. But yeah, we can see that the target is still working as intended. And it's just going through all of the parts just fine. And again, it's just getting the data from the one vertice in the center. But we can see that here, there's something a little bit different happening. This is because yesterday I was playing around with the rendering for the node links, which we can actually see that the ends of the node links are snapped because I did that due to a buddy of mine's suggestion. And I forgot to turn it off for the stream, so these will be a little bit separated, but it's fine. So even if this is moving around smoothly, the node links will always be snapped no matter what to the grid. But yeah, this part, I was just seeing if these nice angled node links would be a good idea, and oddly enough, I'm not sure that they are anymore, now that I've actually made it. Which, making these circles work, even when they are in the back of the node like this, was annoying to figure out, and it would be even more annoying to make it so that they properly loop there, loop there, loop there, and then loop down. If I were to develop this further, that's what I would implement, making it so that it would just go around and then down. But I'm not sure I'm going to develop this more, because Beziers are just a bit better, if I'm being honest. They're simpler, the collision detection... Oh, it crashed. Whoopsie. Okay, that's where we will leave that for today. But you can see, it was pretty cool. But yeah, I think Beziers are just a little bit better because they're just simpler, and the simpler option is always the best. I will need to figure out, like, if I develop that more, like, how to make it so that the node links don't overlap as much as they do, but it does lead to very clean results. So, Thank you all for watching this stream. I hope you liked seeing the particle system. Again, just saying it once more, that'll be up on Gumroad sometime in the near future, maybe at the end of today, not entirely sure. And then what you saw at the end, that was the custom build of Blender that I'm working on that has a new constraint, and I was just testing the node socket links. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.